Okay, a sector is the proportion of a circle bounded by two radii and their intercepted arc. So the sector is like a piece of pizza, piece of pie, piece of pizza, whatever your favorite is. So in other words, if I know I want to know the area of just this piece of this pie. Well, we know that that's a fraction of the area of the circle. So if I can find out what fraction of the area of a circle it is, I can use a proportion, because if I know the whole circle and I know this is 1/4 of the circle, then I can say whatever the area of the circle is, I can take 1/4 of that and they'll give me the area of the sector. So if I want to know how much stuff is in this piece, I'm going to set up a proportion. Okay, so to find the area of a sector, we need to remember how to find the area of a circle. And how do you find the area of a circle? Well, the area of a circle is what? Pi r squared. Pi r squared. If you didn't already remember that, grr. Okay. To find the area of a sector, when the central, remember we have two ways of measuring angles. We have degrees and we have radians. We're talking about degrees first. Two different formulas. So if I want to find the area given degrees, we need the area of the circle, and we need to know that there's 360 degrees in a circle. So the area of a sector, I'm going to make that a sub s, is going to be a fraction of the whole circle, right? Area of the sector, area of the circle. And then that's going to be related to degrees of the degree measure of the sector divided by 360. Notice we're using 360 here instead of 180 because we have to use the whole circle for area. So if I know the degree measure, I can divide by 360, multiply by this, and I'll get that. You cross multiply. Well, if you're doing radians, all you have to change in here is this side. So you're still doing the area of the sector, which you usually are going to be solving for, over pi r squared is going to be the radian measure, which is theta, divided by 2 pi. Because remember, 2 pi is the number of radians in a whole circle. So example 1, a circle has a radius of 24. Radius of 24. Find the area of a sector. And the central angle has an angle of 30 degrees. So if we know it in degrees, I'll use this formula here with the degree measure. So I'm going to take my area of the sector, which I don't know, over pi r squared. Well, the radius is 24, so that would be pi times 24 squared is equal to the degree measure over 360. Okay, so we're just going to cross multiply. So 30 times pi r squared, 30 times pi times 24 squared is going to be divided by 360 to get the area of the sector. Well, can't I just put that in my calculator? So 30 times pi times 24 squared. Remember, pi is second tilde. And then divide that by 360. And we get 150.8 when we round it. So equals 150.8. And those are units squared. Okay, and then you've got a circle that has a radius of 8 units. Radius is 8 units. Find the area of the sector. And the angle is now given to us in radians. So that's theta. So we've got area of the sector, which we don't know, over pi r squared, so that's r, is 8, so 8 squared, is going to be 3 pi over 4 over 2 pi. Well, notice if I'm given the angle in radians and it has a pi in it, these pi's will cancel out here. So now I've got 2 times area of sector equals 3/4 times this. And I know it's going to be this times this divided by this when I finally end up with my answer. So I'm just going to do 3/4 times pi r squared divided by 2. And that's going to give me the area of my sector. Well, let's do this. Let's put this in the calculator. 3/4. So 3/4 alpha y equals number 1. 3/4 times pi r squared and that's divided by, let's go back to make sure we're doing it right, 3/4 times pi r squared, and that's going to be divided by 2. Divided by 2. And I get 75.4 when I round, so 75.4 units. Okay, almost done. So a circle has a radius of 6 units. Find the area of the sector with an arc length of 9 units. Okay, so now I'm solving for the area of the sector. I want you to turn the video off and try it, and then come back. So I don't know the area of the sector. This is R, and this is S. So it looks like I'm going to be using theta equals S over R, because I need to get theta. If I know theta, then I can use the area of a sector formula to get the area. So S is 9, R is 6, so that's going to be 3 over 2, or 1.5. Okay, so now let's see. Area of a sector over pi times 6 squared is going to be 1.5 divided by 2 pi. So now I don't have a pi on top to cancel out, but since I have one on either side, I can still cancel them out. Remember, you can only cancel one at a time. Okay, so now I have 1.5 times 6 squared, which is 36. You can just leave it 6 squared. And that's going to be divided by 2. 1.5 times 36, and that's going to give me the area of my sector. 1.5 times 36 divided by 2. It's 27. So the area of the sector is 27 units squared. Okay, so that's going to be it for this. You should have some practice posted on Canvas.